An hour after midnight, many years ago, I woke up on a train, suddenly, super happy. No money, no job. Not that you didn't have it, but it wasn't because of the money, not because of the job. Why did this happen? Well, herein lies another tragic irony. If you woke up an hour after midnight, super stressed, oh my God, what if the train is late? What if I miss this? Oh my God, where are my children now? Maybe my house is burning down. Here I am on the train. Did I forget to turn the gas off? What's happening? It wouldn't stick with you so long that years later you'd come in and ask about it in satsang. Because you'd think, well, to normal hai. Naturally, we're all stressed. To wake up in our sleep. I mean, raise your hand if you've ever woken up in the middle of the night worried about something. Right? 100% of us. So that's normal. To wake up in the middle of the night worried is normal. To wake up in the middle of the night full of bliss is something that puzzles me for years. This is the question. This is the tragic irony. Is not, why did I wake up full of bliss? That's your nature. That's the truth of who you are. For whatever reason, in that moment, you were graced with an experience of who you are. The question is, why is it so infrequent? Why doesn't it happen all the time? Why are we so ready to accept waking up in the middle of the night stressed and upset, and being stressed and upset all day long? Where that's not our natural way. When I went to visit my grandmother, it's one of my favorite stories. After I had been in India, God, not even a year. Was back in LA, went to visit my grandma, and we spent a few hours together. It was a beautiful time. And I left her, and I was back on the highway back to my parents' house, and my uncle called. And he was laughing. And I said, Ki, what happened? And he had just gotten off the phone with my grandmother, his mother. And the whole family, of course, was worried about me because I had just basically announced I was moving to India. And so he had spoken to my grandmother after my visit with her and had said, Ki, how is she? They hadn't seen me since I had moved to India. And my grandmother had said to my uncle, well, she looks okay, but something is wrong. And naturally my uncle was very worried. And he said, well, what do you mean? What's wrong? And my grandmother was silent for a little while, and then she said, I don't know. He said, she looked okay, but, and my uncle was like, but what? And my grandmother said, but she's just happy all the time. And she was serious. Like, this is a problem. If I had sat there and I had said, oh, Grandma, I'm really stressed, my God, that would have been normal. She would have told my uncle, yeah, she's perfect. So tragically, we live in a world where to have a beautiful glimpse of the truth of who we are, which is bliss, is something that puzzles us. Ye kaise hua, kya hua? But to live in a constant stress is not something that we wonder about. That's what we need to start wondering about. Let that moment on that train be your anchor. Let every other question of your life now be focused on how to get back there. Let that now be your question. If then, why not now? What was I tapping into then that I've lost access to now? What was it that happened? Maybe it was just grace. Maybe it was just God wanted you to see what is possible. But now your duty is to get back to that. Because that is who you are. That's who we all are. Is bliss. When we say Sat Chit Anand, what is Anand? Bliss. Not bliss sometimes, not bliss in some random hour after midnight on a train somewhere in India. But bliss of the being of who I am. A state of bliss that doesn't depend upon the stock market, my relationships, the traffic on the freeway, the amount of salt or chilies in my food, or how tasty it is, or how much I'm enjoying this particular conversation with a person I'm having. A bliss that doesn't depend on any of that. A bliss that just is the bliss of being. Every question should be a question of, why am I not there? That's the question. And you've been blessed to at least have had that experience to know that's what's possible. Now let the question that guides your life be, how do I get back there?